So welcome everyone. So here we are for the second episode of Amigas. How have you been, Tanya?
I've been so good. February is off to a flying start.
Yes, right. I'm so excited. You know, we had great pilot episode, a lot of good positive feedback. But then of course it makes us more hunger to search and to discuss more interesting topics.
Juicy
right?
topics.
Juicy topics. So what we have for today?
A very juicy topic,
Okay,
in my
I like
opinion.
that. Okay, so please do announce. What are we talking about today?
It's the B word,
The B word.
boundaries.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is such buzzword. That's another B word. I'm finding boundaries is such a buzzword. And when I hear them, I have two feelings. One, I feel so proud for that friend, that person, standing up for themselves,
That's
holding a
true.
position. But on the other hand, I question their intention behind setting the boundary.
Okay, so do you think that it can go in a way that it kind of sound like manipulative?
Yes. Yes and no. Yes. Because we might be trying to push our agenda onto other people as a means of control. So we set boundaries from a means of control. But what I find is that boundaries are more a reaction. A reaction that's knee-jerk. Oh, you're crossing my line. You're making me feel uncomfortable, even if it's for a good thing.
Okay.
And I'm putting up a boundary to stop you.
Isn't that the whole point of setting boundaries, where you actually can somehow feel a little bit more in control and thus for it promotes your well-being?
Absolutely. So my position on setting boundaries is actually don't set boundaries. Because what is a boundary? And when does it happen? Someone does something that you perceive is to you, against you. And so you're saying, stop, keep out. I'm going to put up a fence or this line. You do not cross this. Do not climb it. Do not cross it or else. And that's a good thing. But my problem with that is we're not actually telling people what to do.
So there is a misconception in your point of view. When people, they're trying to set up their boundaries, they're actually stop things from happening in order to control it, and they're not allowing room for maybe connection or
Yes, connection for the other person to actually say, well, what do you want? You're telling me don't do these things, don't do that thing. What do you want me to do?
I think it goes to the point where personally I believe that the reason why it kind of can get a little lost is because they do not do the first thing that's the most important one, that's actually communicating. Because the point of setting boundaries is just not only setting boundaries. Like the way I pursue life and the way I believe that should be is that you need to have communication first. It either be with your partner, you know, on a relationship, with your kids, you know, with your friends. And when you communicate your needs and your expectations, you know, then that's the time the boundaries are somehow like, not like immediately set, but, you know, by communicating what you actually expect,
yes.
you know, seemingly they're there. It's not something imposed.
Yes.
Right? So there is a misconception of people and say, no, I'm going to set my boundaries and then no, don't do this. Don't do that.
And I feel so powerful.
Yes, and
look
then
at
I'm like,
me.
oh, you know, I'm superwoman or super guy, and I'm just like, don't cross here. This is a danger
It's just
zone.
a matter of time before that
Yeah,
breaks.
but I think boundaries should be set in a way that's settled, not necessarily by settling them, but just communicating your needs and what we actually expect from that person or for that relationship, right?
So this is my position. My position is don't set boundaries. Everyone listening is set standards. If I may suggest, so instead of that boundary, don't do this. It's regardless of that, do this. This is what I would love to engage with you on. And so I say what I would suggest is don't set a boundary out of reaction. That's out of fear. I can't handle what you're about to do, or I'm not sure what you're going to do if you come to this point. Give them an instruction, set a standard. Here is where I want you to meet me. And then what that does, it allows for you to actually communicate your values. So we can be communicating clearly our boundaries all day long till the cows come home, but people still don't know what we want.
Yeah, that's
true. So we have to use our values. And that's values for relationship, values for how we want to show up and how we would like others to show up for us. And I mean, think about your most important relationships now. Maybe your 3 most important. Do people actually know how you want them to show up?
Yeah, I'm very communicative personally. I talk a lot, but sometimes I may admit, since this is the podcast where we talk, just being honest about everything. I am kind of shy of actually communicating what I really want. And then I know that sometimes it can somehow hinder relationships from moving forward. Because we just live in a world where everybody, it's kind of, like a little bit shy of telling because you don't want to be seen as a weak person.
Or demanding.
You don't want demanding, or you also don't want to scare people right away. Like, okay, this is what I like. Or maybe I'll just give all away and then
this
suddenly...
is what I like.
This is what I like. And then suddenly, you feel that, oh my gosh, this person has me in their hand. They know everything about me. So that's actually a very tricky thing, like communication.
How much to give.
Yes, how much to give,
how much to
right?
share.
So that you also not make yourself vulnerable too much. So how can we navigate into, being like what is healthy standards and how much can we give without being completely exposed to a person that you might even not know in deep, right?
Oh, I love that. And first, I love how you said healthy standards, not healthy boundaries.
Oh, yeah, I changed my words.
It's already working. And so my number one thing is become clear on your values, your most deeply held values, your core beliefs. When you're clear on what they are, you can use them as a blanket to literally wrap your standards in. So for me, 3 of mine start with C, for example, so it's easier for me to remember. I really care. And I used to hide that about myself, but then what I say comes out weird. Why is she asking these questions about me? Why is she touching my elbow as she's speaking to me? I just care, yeah. I make it a kinetic experience.
So you're a very touchy person.
Yeah, so I care, and I own that.
Sorry, not creepy. We're just loving human beings.
Yes, everyone who's listening, we just high five. We just high five.
In the appropriated parts, okay?
Yes.
Never unless, with permission, everyone. With permission, let things change.
Yes. So care, number 1. Second is collaboration. That to me is then so obvious to then create a communication to facilitate a back and forth. It's not just a me saying what I want or you saying what you want, it's a we having a conversation. So I already know that's how I'm going into conversations.
So there's an intention.
There's an intention.
Getting to know the person.
Yeah, so I'll ask questions, even if they're afraid to share things with me.
Sorry to cut you. There's an issue nowadays, like with this world where, everything is electronic, right? People don't write letters anymore. They barely talk on the phone. They just text. When you get to meet people, there are very few people that actually genuinely want to know you as you, right? Yeah. And that's a big issue for me personally.
It's everywhere. And this is why we have to lead by example. We can't sync or operate at a level that people give to us, because that to me is saying, I'm letting you dictate how I am.
Ooh.
I'm the puppet wearing strings that you are pulling. That's saying you are controlling me. Whereas I would like to think that no matter what comes before me, yes, I may have an initial reaction. I might be pissed off, overjoyed, teary-eyed, excited. But if it's an emotion or response for me that's not serving or in alignment with my values, which are care, collaboration, and celebration,
oh, wow.
then I have a 5-second rule where as soon as I feel that I'm not vibing with my vibe, then I give myself 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm over it.
Oh, wow.
I'm
You're
moving
fast.
on. Oh, yeah. Well, it's something that, because I didn't have that before, I felt that that someone was pulling my own strings, that I wasn't pulling my own strings. And I just got sick of it. I'm sick of feeling like I'm in a washing machine of emotion and people pleasing. It is tiring. But this is what something you said before, like how much do we share? And for me and so many of my friends and my clients, it's people pleasing. Yes, we care a lot.
Yeah.
We don't want to offend other people. So we're overthinking about how to manage their reaction.
Yeah.
So we're tempering our words to deliver in a way that is acceptable, that we hope is acceptable. But sometimes we lose the translation.
True.
And especially in a
when
work
you try
environment.
To filter too much, right?
We filter too much in a work environment. Someone's done something quite naughty and you're a caring leader and you need to give them feedback, okay? And then it turns into you're just doing so well conversation and they don't know what they've done. And so it can be about, so first becoming very clear on your values. What is that for you? And I have my triple C, everyone should have their own internal compass to navigate. And what that means, if you do have a tendency to people please, like me, like us, like many people who care, you have a reference point that is internal.
Okay.
Because when you're pleasing externally, you're saying what you think of me is more important than what I think of myself.
Again, inner reference compared to external reference. Right?
Yes.
So you need to use exactly what you know of yourself as a compass. Yeah, so that you can,
navigate this world.
Yes, to be effective and of course to enable you to actually, to boost your well-being and to be able to socialize and communicate and, to engage in actually meaningful relationships that are last longing.
That well-being part, I just felt this breath happening, like, oh yeah, freedom of expression, to be able to say what you think and feel in a caring, without judgment, in a celebratory way that is inviting collaboration. Like that is where the amazing connections and the innovation, the creativity is, whether it's in a work environment, we're all talking across a table, working together on a chart on the wall, or you're having an intimate conversation with your loved one.
But okay, question. Do you believe that everybody is able to actually navigate or accept other people's opinion without judgment?
This is where the fear comes in. Judgment is fear, and people tend to think they're going to lose some kind of control or they're going to lose some kind of comfort. They've got something to lose in the situation. They may also feel that that the change that they're noticing in someone else is revealing a pain point in them that they're not ready to open up about. And they could be wondering, what is the result of this person changing before me, setting their standards now? And it's making me go, ooh, what do I need to do to still be with this person? So some people may just want to shut you down.
Oh, wow.
Like, no, don't change. And and this is the other scary thing about why I think we don't set our standards properly and say what we actually want, is the fear of rejection.
That's so true. Yeah.
Be absolutely demolished. And I was thinking, what is something like crazy that has happened to me recently for me recently, personally, in my last relationship, actually. And this is that whole area of how do you set boundaries or set standards in intimate relationship? I think they can be the most difficult, can't they?
Oh, yeah. Because, of course, the person you're dealing with, of course, you have feelings towards that person. But at the same time, depending on the level of the relationship, you don't really know when you can cross, this first, step, like step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. And you're also scared of scaring them away, right? Because it can come off, depending on how minded that person is. Like it can come off like, oh, you're trying to, take control of everything. Oh, girl, you have too many, too many, too many things that you wanted me to deliver. It's like, oh, that's a lot.
I believe in you, darling. You can do it.
Right. So that can be very difficult.
That whole piece about fear of being rejected. What I deeply feel is that boundaries end up pushing people away anyway, because you don't end up having that connection. And I would say that having standards, if boundaries is pushing away, then having standards is actually an invitation.
Oh, okay.
An invitation to join me.
That's a great way of putting
on a
it.
particular level. And it's not to say my level is better or higher. It's just a certain level that I expect based on my deeply held values of care, collaboration, celebration.
And also experiences, right? Because I think in order to set those standards, also you go through a lot of things, and then that experience. Because I actually don't believe like in bad days. You know, I believe that, you know, sometimes there's not that, you know, good days, but whatever happens, you know, you can always learn something from it. And then eventually you as a person, you grow, and then your boundaries can get elevated because you experience certain things that now give you the background that you need to say, okay, I like this or I don't like this. I'm comfortable here, I'm comfortable there.
That's a really good point, because some people do grow. Hopefully everyone's growing. As we're growing, we're changing. We're growing. I love the Bridesmaids movie. Anyway, a lot of my humor comes from there. We're growing. Our standards, we might have some core beliefs. We also have some other beliefs that are limiting, that don't reflect the person that we've beautifully grown into. And so there can be that push and pull internally about who am I? And in high performance coaching, all of my clients, all of my best friends, we all do this every single year. Maximum. We're reflecting on the year gone. We're setting intentions for who we want to become in our growth. So we're already pointing that compass to where we want to go, the navigation, and then adopting the values of the person who's already done it.
Wow.
So we have 3, say, core beliefs, core deeply held values. Then we look at someone, a version of us who's already experiencing the type of relationships that we want to have, the type of success, business, finance, health, well-being, friendships, whatever it is, and say, well, how does that person act? How do they think? What are some of their core beliefs? When they come across a difficult, challenging situation, how do they respond? And is that different to how I respond?
Yeah, so that you need to put yourself in that version of yourself shoes, so that you can level up to where you are, right?
Yes, and then let your standards follow. Let your standards follow, and then those need to be communicated. And so I wasn't sure about whether to share this, but I think it's important to, because of it is within context of boundaries. And it's also something that I'm shocked, or have been shocked, not for more than 5 seconds, still happens. And it's only 5 seconds at a time, like I already said. And it's that I set standards without realizing in my relationship, in my previous relationship. And it was that I was in a situation where my partner's mum said, her position was that, Tanya is not the right color.
Oh, wow.
She's not the right.
Straight like that.
Straight up.
In your face?
To in indirect. I wish it was to my face.
Oh, wow.
So I could have given her a big hug and a kiss and said, "You're okay.
Oh my.
You're okay." But she said it to
she's
everyone.
Not okay with your color.
With my color, with everyone else. To the point where people were coming to me saying, like, "Are you okay?"
Oh, wow.
Well, she hasn't said it to me, so I can't actually have the conversation, although I did offer to. And then when that was deemed ridiculous, it's, well, she's not the right class.
Oh, wow. So we're going that way, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me prepare for work.
Not the right color, not the right class.
Oh, wow.
And I hope he doesn't marry her, because we know what girls like that want.
Oh,
they
damn.
only want one thing.
Ma'am, I don't know who you are, and I'm glad that we haven't met.
Right? I wouldn't wish that on anyone to meet her. But anyway, everyone has their reasons, right? But this is an interesting point, because my ex said to me, "Tanya, it's your fault.
Okay.
You're the one taking this person." Correct. But he says, "You're the one who's taking it personally."
Oh, wow.
Why are you taking it personally?
Oh, yes. Let's not take it personal. Actually,
don't take it personal.
You're not. Let's not take it personal. It's not you. She's the problem.
And if you do, Tanya, it's your fault.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "You do know what I'm asking for, don't you?" And this is me setting a standard. Really difficult, sticky, heart being broken open situation. When you love someone, with your actual bone marrow. Yeah. Like your whole being adores that person. And you're getting this kind of information.
Feedback.
It's like, what do you do? And this is Tanya, 3 C's. Care, collaborate, celebrate. So I went in, I said, okay, well, it was so wonderful that, you know, she had that dinner commissioned for us. It was really lovely. Love that you and your mum have an excellent bond. I only want to support that, only want to celebrate. That's really important to me. I'm really close to my family too. So go in with that, really celebrating, caring, and then wanting to collaborate. It's, well, all I'm asking for, my standard, is that you put your arm around me and tell me you love me no matter what your mum says. To me, that would be a response. Even if I didn't know a person, I would see them crying with low confidence, feeling self-doubt because they're people are attempting to shame them in every way, okay?
It's just a natural caring instinct, right?
You'd put your arm around them.
Yes, of course. You comfort the person.
I'd get a tissue from my purse.
Without knowing what the problem is.
Yes. His response was, you need to figure it out.
Oh.
And so this is the scary thing. When you start to set standards, things in your life start to change. And I think this is why many of us don't set standards. We be okay with what we have, status quo, because there's great days. There's great days. There's good things.
And you try to put under the carpet the bad days, right? Or the things that are not acceptable, or just try to ignore them.
Yeah, and some things like toilet seat up, cutlery not in the dishwasher appropriately, all that kind of stuff. Give me a broom, I'll sweep that up. It doesn't matter. That goes right under the rug. But it's the issue of, well, what standards actually matter? Yeah. What values actually matter? And I got really clear on what that was for me. And the moment I did open myself up to be rejected, to have my biggest fear manifest. And at the end of the day, it did, because the next day he went off to a friend's holiday, no communication, then said he was confused. And then the following day I woke up and I just had this feeling. Actually, it wasn't a feeling, it was a voice. And the voice said, something great is going to happen today.
Oh, wow.
And I got up, brushed my teeth, called a friend around midday and said, I think I know what I need to do. She goes, you do. You need to break up with him, don't you? And I said, yeah. And then he got home and beat me to the punch.
Oh, no.
And I love boxing. So to say someone beat me to the punch is... He fast.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He's lost.
Yes. But this is the other thing. We make reasons, excuses, valid, invalid, whatever for people. But this for me was a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
A non-negotiable one. And I think we need to talk about this stuff more. I had this fear of, oh, well, I'm going to be judged for saying it. But this is why, because we don't set standards.
Yes.
If we actually set standards, if I asked for permission to speak with his mum, to say, may I just have a caring, collaborative, celebrative, one-to-one, I'll take her out for lunch, coffee, just have a talk about it. I'm around for the long haul. You know, I love your family. Let's just do this properly.
Yes.
And he said, no, it's just not going to work. And so I tried different ways of
So you did your
it.
part. It's just not because, you know, in the end of the day, something I've learned through the years that some people, you never support you no matter what you do. Some people will always support you no matter what you do. So you just really need to find your people. It's the bottom line. You need to find your people. Because, you know, if they don't like you, no matter what you do, they're going to still not like you, because it's a, you know, a preconcept of even before meeting you. You know, there is a lot of people, you know, and I believe that actually we all have a little bit of that. You know, before meeting this person, we already have those concepts of who we're going to meet.
A little bit of prejudice.
And then if you decide, even before meeting the person, that you're not going to like them, no matter what they do, you're not going to like them. And if you engage in that, and some people are just hard-headed to the sense that, you know, they just know, this is what I decided and it's not going to change, no matter what that person does. I actually had a lot of experience, personal experience with that kind of situation, where people don't know me and they judge me. Because I come from a background that, first of all, coming to the Philippines, I'm not a local. We're in the Philippines. I've been 20 years in this country. But people have no idea, even if it's in Google, my background. They don't know who my family is, or what social status I came from, how much money my parents make, how much money do I make, what kind of college degree I have. They have no idea what car I drove even before to come to the Philippines. So I was on social media call at a certain point, a gold digger.
Oh God.
Okay, somebody called
That
me a
old
gold
chestnut.
digger. And I was wondering, am I the one bringing the golds?
Wait, who's digging me? Tell me.
Who's digging me? Exactly. So, I just laugh. I just took a big laugh out of it. But that's the thing. There is a sickness going around of people that don't know who you are, but just have this prejudgment, preconcept of who you are in their eyes. And that's so unfair because that goes back to the 3 C's. You need to be caring, right? The communication needs to happen. So how can you get to know a person? Even a little Google search, guys, come on. It's not that hard, right? With the technology nowadays. So I also had instances in my life where actually, someone told someone else, not direct to me, but I find out later on, and telling me that, oh no, she's not good for my son because she's a foreigner. Maybe it was not my color, the skin color.
Interesting
It was not
F word.
because she's a foreigner, so she's not good. I don't want her to end up with my son because she's a foreigner. And foreigners are not like us.
You can say that again.
Right?
That's why your son likes me.
So I've had those instances in my life constantly. Even recently, I have people constantly judging, saying mean things online. For instance, just like straight dropping a line in my social media account publicly telling me, oh, you're showing a lot of skin now because you're an insecure person.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, let me tell you one or two things about insecure, arrogant people. They focus on others. I'm focusing on myself. That's the difference. So, they don't know that I come from background that actually, I won 10 beauty titles, 3 international. I've did modeling for many years. I've worked on TV. So social media is actually a tool for me to promote myself because I am my product. So if I do show a little skin or, if I try constantly post, because that's my job, that's my work. If I'm a doctor, even the doctors nowadays, I have, I had a background where I was a medical student, I was a nursing student, didn't finish, but going back to there, to that point very soon. But, even my friend's doctor back home, social media, they used to post. They post a lot every day so that they can reach to more patients, that can spread, knowledge to people, because social media is everything nowadays, which is very dangerous too. But, we need to take advantage of our advantage. So if I do post, if I do things like that, it's because that's my line of work. But then again, people just like to judge constantly without even thinking and putting themselves in somebody else's shoes. Because I think when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you're going to change.
Pri, can I put it in context? Let's just imagine this person, man, woman, or however they identify, sitting pants down on the toilet, okay? Doom scrolling through their phone and typing hate messages. Do we really care?
No, we don't.
What
But
this
sometimes we need to tell them off.
Hooper thinks. Exactly. This
sometimes.
is the setting standards piece. This is the setting standards piece. And it's, thank you for your comment. Really interesting insight into how you think, my friend. Best of luck to you. Thank you. And the fact, so interesting. So
do you think that's part of, because, when you talk about something, settling standards, we're talking about psychologically, physically. We're also talking about electronically, social media wise,
every communication tool.
So we really need to set those standards so that we can be, we can feel safe, right? So that we can, we can promote our well-being. Because the other thing of, when you set those standards and you realize that people do not meet your standards, what do you do next?
And this is that fear part. The worst may happen, like with me. You end up leaving the love of your life.
And that's okay, because if you
And that's
was the
okay
love of
too.
your life.
This is why standards are invitations. And I sent that invitation. The arm and the I love you. That's all I'm asking for. And if you have to leave the room and tell me you're confused based on that standard, which is not very high, then circumstances don't make a man, they reveal him. And he was revealed in that moment. And I think maybe it's a female thing or just a caring person thing. I see, and I know you do as well, you see people's potential.
Yes.
So not just for who they are, but who they're destined to be. Is that 50 Cent? Like,
girl,
great
tell
lyrics.
me all about it.
But this is, I think this is why women exist, A, and we're the glue that keeps society together. And also, B, you want to love them for who they are, but never limit them. And I think this is part of real love, to say, go and do your thing.
Yes.
Work your magic, work your work. Conquer. I'll be clapping and wolf whistling and waiting for you when you get home. You know, like whatever it is.
Yes.
After I've done my thing. You know, it's a beautiful way of having relationship. But these standards, enough about me, Pri. I mean, does any situation come to mind for you with a friend or someone where you've had to set a difficult standard?
Oh yeah, definitely, many times.
And then what did you do? What was the situation? What did you do? And what was the result?
Yeah, I think coming from the perspective that we're very caring in love people, I do always see the potential. I look beyond what the person is showing me.
Yeah.
You know, I look through the heart. So
Yes.
that's the thing. And because that's the way I see people, I know that they can always like have a better version of themselves. And because of that, I just keep on giving them chances. It's like, okay, do your thing. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you. And I know you can do so much better. But of course, it gets to a point where you simply just get tired of getting somehow disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you're giving the floor, you're setting, those standards and you're communicating through it, but it's just not happening. And then you start to, without even notice, which is very dangerous, to drop your standards one by one. And that's when you lose yourself.
Oh,
and that's
my
really
drop.
horrible. It's really horrible. And then you find yourself in a position where, who the hell am I? And that's the dangerous part. But I've got to that point many times.
Yeah.
And I've got to that point big time. And you know what I came to realize is that it's just not worth it. And that's the time where, the challenge is set. And then you got to do what I got to do.
But for my body was the first thing to tell me, and it was I had started getting heart palpitations, and my hair started falling
also,
out.
I got a cyst. I got a cyst. I lost hair, by the way.
Yeah.
If there's any hair product that I want to sponsor, I lost tons of hair.
Yeah, I lost heart palpitations.
I had lots of hair. My skin, I've never had pimples growing up. I've never had pimples in my early age, like my early 20s. Suddenly, I saw myself, I have breakout everywhere. But my hormones went crazy.
Stress response.
The body, it's really like a huge receptor of all that toxicity.
Beautifully
all
said.
That bad things and bad behavior of people towards you. Because in the end of the day, it's like, it feels like they're actually, it's just painful. It's just painful.
Slightly controversial, and I guess I could throw us both in, but it's at some point, if this goes on for more than 3 years, like this, then I want to raise my hand in accountability and say, well, it's also my fault.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because
let's not just just
I
blame
let
the
it.
second part. Yeah,
I let
either
it
be like
continue.
a partner in life, like a relative, a best friend, even a child. It doesn't matter who it is. In the end of the day, you also have your contribution. Because coming from the fear of losing someone,
Yes.
you're just keeping giving in, hoping,
They'll
that
change.
a magic are gonna happen and things will change, and that person will, she's going to be able to meet your standards, right? So that you can have a happy ending. But
And sometimes they do. You communicate, and that's the other thing. They're an invitation. It can be, the RSVP can be absolutely or no thank you. And so, yes, your worst fear,
but
you think it's your worst fear may come true.
We need to be very careful with that as well, because I've gone through relationships on a personal level where people can become very manipulative. And then they're just going to show enough to make you believe that they're actually changing.
Oh,
but they're
bingo.
not. So they're manipulating, just eating more of your time and just gaining time. So the whole situation just keeping drag. It just drags.
What are some of those red flags?
Yeah, and that's the thing about the red flags. Well, number one is, if you're the one that needs, coming from a personal perspective, if you're the one that needs to point out what's wrong all the time, okay, so that the person, you're going to have a reaction and actually put in some action, okay, then something's wrong there. Because if you're the one doing that, and there are cycles for that as well, you need to be very, very careful with the cycles. Some people will take
it's true, kids.
It's once a month, once a week, eventually once a month, once every 3 months. Even if it's once a year, it doesn't matter. If there is real change and they're really caring towards you and they love you in a deep level and they care about you, once there is an issue that was raised and it was communicated and you try to work things out, that issue should not come back ever again. Because you know it already. So if that issue keeps coming back in a cycle, it's either be like every 1 month, once a month, every 3 months. So there is no real change. There is no real care. So that's, I think it's like,
or there also could be a spectrum disorder of some kind that's been undiagnosed.
Oh yeah, like when we're talking about, there is a lot of other disorders that could actually potentially inflame the situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we're talking
but also
about,
to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Because I experienced that firsthand, where someone would say, I never said that. Where I'm literally crying saying, you've literally said you don't want to marry me. And I'm obviously crying I held it in that night. And I'm crying the next day because it was just so hurtful. And I'm like, well, I'd maybe just have to leave. His mum already thinks I'm not the right color, not the right class. I hope he doesn't marry. He's saying I don't want to marry you. I'm crying. And he's saying, what? Why are you crying? I'm saying, well, I'm just trying to figure out my next steps now. I've started my business. I'm building this thing. It's tricky timing. Just give me some time to figure out how I'm going to move forward. What are you talking about? You just said that you don't want to marry me. I never said that. And so it's these, and so that's a red flag for me. Okay. Now I can see where someone is they dangle a carrot, yes, I want to marry you. Yeah. And then they actually say, I don't want to marry you.
Oh, wow.
And then deny saying that. So that's number one.
Well, there is a lot of disorders that can come from,
That's also a bit of a narcissism.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's also actually it is a disease.
Yeah, it's
narcissism is a disease, and something that is being, it's a sickness. It's being more and more brought to light nowadays.
Well,
a lot of people suffer from that.
They are, and so learning about that, and then seeing the family history of it, and then also seeing I had to learn what gaslighting was.
Oh yeah.
And so this is my second red flag is someone making you doubt yourself.
Exactly.
If you feel a drop in confidence from your partner, even if they say confident things to you on one hand, you look amazing, what a great podcast episode, and on the other hand, undermine you, tear you down. And so basically you're not even equal, you're worse off.
Yeah, of course.
Because then you're undermining the good stuff that you've done based on a relativity bias. So you're like, well, I'm bad now.
Yes.
And they're keeping you in these cycles of, am I good enough for you? When really, and I had to suck myself like a drone, like rising to the top to get perspective on the situation, because you start to go a bit loop to loop, like what's going on? And it's part of the distraction, and it's part of other people projecting their ideas about how relationships should be on you and not being clear on their values. Yes. But I had to go up a level to say, what is going on here? This is very unusual behavior.
Of course.
But it had to come from feeling that self-doubt and then questioning, what is this?
Yes.
And then my friends, setting the standard. One of the most difficult things I've ever done. But also in friendships, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We outgrow friendships.
Yes, and it's not necessarily like, it can be a little bit sad, but it does happen because people evolve, and sometimes they do not evolve in the same level. And sometimes also, but if it's a real friendship, this is what I believe, because I have experienced real friendship throughout my life. I have friends that I was very close to, best friends growing up. Suddenly we disconnect because of, careers, family, different life paths. And eventually we reconnected like 10 years after. And it felt like we never disconnect at all.
Beautiful.
But then again, you need also to be very careful with, those setting those standards in friendship as well. Because some friends, they're just not in the level where they're actually there to build you up.
No, they're not going to support you.
Like, that's the thing. If a friend, someone that's in your inner circle should be someone that's cheering for you all the time. They're celebrating your victories. They're like flooding you with words of affirmation. If that's not the case, if there is jealousy, then that's not your real friend. So I think it's very important to also in it comes to terms of setting boundaries. It's also to identify who is your team.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, no matter how much you communicate, no matter how much you care,
time waste,
you're just wasting time. So let's just, okay, pack things up and move on.
The thing about when you're clear about what you want, because it's an invitation, people can accept or decline, because you're actually saying it out loud as well. People who do match you, people who want that kind of friendship, their ears prick up.
Yeah.
You meet one person like that, and suddenly they have a whole group of friends like that. And then you've gone from having 3 so-and-so friends and you've made excuses for them because you've been friends for 20 years or since school or whatever it was, and so much history, and how could you let go of the friendship now and all this stuff. It's not even about that. It's like, well, thank you for the excellent friendship we had then, and here's where I am now.
Yes.
Do you want to come?
Yeah.
Do you want to come with me? Do you want to do this together? And if not, that's cool. I'm not judging you. I'm not upset with you. But if you need my help and I can support, I will.
Yes.
This is the path I'm going on. And then you actually start to meet, and I've done that here. I even did that in the last city I was in as well, London. I decide on a certain level of standard in my friendship. Yes, some fall away, but it created space for people who did align to join on that journey.
Yeah, I think like when it comes to friendship especially, we do think just like with marriages and long-term relationships, we do feel a little bit guilty to let go because we invested so much, right? We invested so much time, love, care. There's a lot of memories that we build around it. And I do understand that it might have a little bit feeling of loss, right? I've lost this person. But then again, you don't need to completely cut it over because maybe that person is just not in the same level that you are right now, right? You can also approach in the sense that, okay, maybe for now, because we've changed and we are not in the same, level, maybe what we can do is just try to limit the interaction, because what you're going to get out of that relationship is definitely not something that you're going to boost your well-being.
Yeah, and also what you can give in that relationship isn't going to boost their well-being or your well-being.
Yeah, so it boils down to some people are just, I don't want to say the word, but I'm just going to blurb it out, toxic.
Yeah.
And we cannot talk about setting boundaries without talking about toxic people. And it's just so sad because that's the way they're just I believe that that's the way they're just like they are. And I don't know if it's a learned pattern. I don't know if there's a science behind it. It's just environmental. I'm not so sure. But some people just like that. They're toxic. Even if they love you, they don't really know how to love you because it boils down to a point where, loving you and actually trying to build you up, they feel that somehow you're like becoming better than them and they don't want that change.
Yes, better, or it can be worse. It's just different to
Yeah,
how they remember you. They want to keep you exactly the same
way
because it makes them feel safe.
And then they might go into the path that, okay, I'll tear you down so that we can be in the same level.
And
that's when you need to
can
identify
be-
that's a big red flag.
It's a big red flag, and it's really difficult when it's your family.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Really,
Even more
really
difficult if it's a family member.
but not impossible to manage. And it's definitely setting standards, wrapping your standards up in the blanket of your values, reaffirming the love and the care, reducing the fear,
Yes.
and then restating what you want and being extremely consistent. Because if you're in the business now, you've heard this episode, like, I want to set standards, baby. Then in that case, you're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to be clear. You're going to have to be consistent. And so it's, if I kind of boil it down, I guess, it's one, getting very clear on what your values are. Do that. Do it tonight. Pen and paper before you go to bed. Do it on the loo if you have to. If you've got a kid on each leg, you've got no time.
Attached to this is your needs. What do you need?
Yes.
Right?
What is your deepest
what is
desire?
it that you want right from that relationship?
Yes. And make sure that you have one set of values in terms of how you want to interact, what you want to get, and what you want to give. We don't want to be like Voldemort, splitting our soul into 7 pieces. We've got one for this work, one for that business, one for that family member, one for the partner, one for kids. No, be one person. Be one consistent person everywhere. It's the same head that hits the pillow. Stop yourself having multiple personality disorder and then some other things. So get clear on your values, your highest, deepest desires for relationship engagement with others, professional and personal. Second, identify repeat offenders or situations where you notice that you're feeling that disempowerment, or you're feeling like you have to people please, or you're being so externally referenced based on what other people think, not based on what you think. That is usually a trigger. Oh, I have to do something here. And you might set a boundary, or you might hold back, you might back down. That is an opportunity to speak, and it's an opportunity to speak your values. And you make the statement massaged for whatever situation is relevant there, personal or professional. But again, you have to say it out loud. Then what I would do, and this is all personally, you're still in the planning phase. Just like an athlete, you have to train before you get to the game. Or like an actor, an actress, you have to learn your lines before you get to the camera. So this is all about understanding how is that next version of me going to embody these words and actually going to respond in these situations. But while you're sitting with yourself, this is what I do with me, is I do an intention check.
Okay.
Why do I want to set the standard? Is it coming from fear? I have to control you. I might lose you. You need to do this to please me. You know, I'm get. Or is it out of freedom and love for me and that person?
Yeah. Boy loves to love.
What's the intention? Because I want it to be about care, collaboration, celebration. That is my intention. So I do an intention check, and then I'm practicing that. And then this is my 5-second rule, not buying into other people's excuses or emotions, especially if I know I've identified a pattern. There are several red flags here. I've done an internal self-check. I've adjusted what I need to. So I'm coming to this relationship, professional or personal, with good intentions and authentic standards. And so, the more in the day and night that you can operate from this perspective, the more, yes, you'll lose people. That's a given.
Yes, definitely.
You'll also gain
the right people.
You'll gain so many good experiences in business, in love, in health,
and the right
relationships.
People.
The ones who match this particular vibe and growth trajectory.
You know, it's very scary, as Bob Marlin said, before. The real people, okay, when it comes to real people, basically, when people are being fake, that's when people love them. And when they're being real, that's when they lose people. And that's basically like the social media world now. You say the right thing, what they want to hear, everybody loves you. Once you tell your real thoughts and what really matters about the subject that is being talked about, suddenly there is this rage of, reactions. And because maybe you might not have the same, standards, or you might not have the same line of thought of someone, they hate you. Because again, acceptance, the tendency in society is, okay, if you're not like me, then you're an enemy.
Yeah.
And
You're a
that should
threat.
not be the case. Because like you and I, we're friends. You're very good friends, a very short amount of time. And a lot of people question, how long do you know Tanya? That actually, what, 6 months?
Yeah.
But it's not about the time. It's about the fact that I know that we have the same core, we share of the same values, although we have different minds and different experiences. And I think that's a plus because what you bring to the table is different from what I bring to the table. So me personally, I don't want to have a friend that thinks like me, walks like me, talks like me. It's just like a mini me. What's the point? So
How
I think
boring.
differences should be celebrated. And
Yes,
right, they should be celebrated.
Color and class, my friends, everything.
Should always be celebrated. And the thing with setting the standards is that a lot of the people that actually are averse to that is actually exactly the people that just want like mini me's around them, right? They're
You
not
jump on a horse, have an eating
Yes.
disorder.
No, if you don't think like me, if you don't, you don't want the same things that I want, then no, cannot be. Rejected.
So close-minded.
Yes.
And I think we have a real duty. So if anyone's listening and watching this and they're feeling it struck a chord in them in some way, that chord is a sign, is actually a sign. And it's asking you to be more you, to be more authentic, to know what your values are, to lead with that from the moment you wake up to the moment you go unconscious during the day and realize, oh, crud, I better get back to my higher self, get back to it, to the moment you go see your family, to the moment you transition to go to bed, being your true authentic self, sharing what you truly believe from your heart, from kindness and from care. And whatever your, my 3 C's, whatever it is for you, what are yours, do you think?
Well, yeah, definitely. It always, for me, boils down to really to love myself, caring for others, respect. So it's not 3 C's, but communication is there. But it boils down really to, going back to my relationship with Jesus.
Yes.
So, I mimic the way he lives, he walks, he talks. And I think that, in order for you to have real standards, you need to have someone to look up to.
Yes.
You cannot be yourself, like myself. I'm looking up to myself because I'm great. No, no, no. You need to either be like, Jesus, it could be a parent, it could be a friend. I think it's nice to have people that you look up to so that you can not only set the right standards, but also raise your standards because today it can be like your mother, tomorrow it can be like your boss. As you grow in your adulthood, what happens is we need to always be evolving. And if that's not happening, then something there needs to be checked and need to be reassessed. Because in the end of the day, human beings are about transformation and change is never good. I believe it's never bad. I believe that change is always, always good. And I always look at change with a very positive, focus and point of view, because we human beings, we are the only ones that actually in the animal, among all the animals, we're the only ones that constantly change and evolve, with a speed that's like light speed, when you compare to all the other animals on earth. So for me, definitely, how I said, love, respect, communication, care. Yeah, those are my standards.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but everybody that is out there, that another thing that we said early, always respect the red flags. The red flags are really like an amazing tool to help you to identify, the people that maybe potentially should not be in your life or maybe need to be delegated to another.
Delegated.
Delegated to the neighbor.
It's the end of an era where we are preparing the men for their next wives. Like that's not happening anymore.
But setting boundaries is really a very health subject to talk about.
Setting standards, Pri.
Sorry, standards. It's really not, but the way you see it, actually, standards, boundaries. If the point of view is the same, they're pretty much the same. And I think that the end of the day, it boils down really to knowing yourself. You need to know your needs, right? In order to communicate to others what your needs are, you need to know your needs. And then you also need to assess and, what are my beliefs? What are my, my core values?
Don't be afraid of going deep. Getting a shovel.
You really need to know that. And in order for you to develop meaningful relationship with others, you need to know the person. Okay, let's call more. Let's write letters more. Let's have dinner more often. Let's have coffee.
Without the technology.
Yes, because it does matter. I remember that, having talks with you, and then after the gym, it was one of my highlights.
2 hours just disappeared. Like, oh my goodness,
I'm late. But I think it's a very healthy. Let's talk about more setting boundaries, and let's literally, engage more with people, so that the core of relationships will change, so that you can evolve as a human being, that you can, you can promote your well-being, and you can really grow to your full potential as an individual, as a human being.
Amen, sister.
Yes, but Tanya, we had so many good feedback about the last podcast.
Yes.
And this is the second podcast, but we have more to come, guys. And for the meantime, I just want to thank you, all of you. And I do want to open the floor to, of course, to invite, if you have questions, suggestions, please do drop a line in our social media accounts. We do have Amigas podcast on IG. And then you can also reach out to Tanya. Tanya, please do give your social media account.
Yes, Tanya_high performance.
And I'm Prime Rallies in IG. And then please do reach out to us so that we can make this intimate conversation even more productive. Thank you, guys. It was amazing. Huwag nakalimutan. Don't forget to follow our social media account. And kita tayo. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.